So I just got done watching the Horror Game Awards Summer Showcase over on their channel. It premiered a couple days ago. And there were a lot of things that they showed off, and I thought I would run down some of the ones I found more interesting, some of the ones I'm looking forward to. If you wanted to watch it yourself, you can go to their YouTube and just watch the video. It's about 2.5 hours, a lot of good stuff in there for horror fans, but these are the ones that I found the most interesting. Alright, first up we have End of Ember. This looks like a Binding of Isaac type game, which I love Binding of Isaac, so I was immediately interested. It looks fun from what I can see. I like the hand-drawn aesthetic. I like the style of it. I like the weird body horror stuff going on in it. And I think whether or not I got really into this would depend on how it controls. So I would love to play a demo of this, take a look at it, and go from there. But otherwise, this just seems like it would be a really good time. Alright, following that, I have Void Martyrs here. Fun little looking top-down perspective, dual-stick shooter almost sort of thing going on. Again, I just really like the art style. I like the cross-hatching look, the like semi-cel-shaded comic book style or whatever they're going for here. Seems visually interesting. Seems like it could be pretty cool being in space or whatever. The only thing I have possibly against it is that at the very beginning you saw a bunch of pods or whatever, and then the character is going to die here in a second. It seems like this might be a roguelite, which is not exactly what I want from it, so we'll have to see. I'd be interested in trying this out though. Silly Polly Beast just caught my attention right away with the anime-ish art style. Kind of like a weird 3D, like kind of crappy looking environment sort of thing. Not to say that the art style is crappy, but rather the world that she's in seems kind of shitty, and she seems like a fun little demon girl or whatever with a skateboard, probably some attitude as well, I would guess. But yeah, I thought it looked neat. I especially like that there's not a whole lot of third-person action type games in horror, so give me more of those. I'm definitely in, especially if you can skateboard in it. This is an easy buy, I think, as long as it plays well. Alright, this one is called Painted in Blood, and I think the thing that caught my attention right away is that these environments and the environmental design seems really, really good. I believe it's using voxels or something like that. It's kind of reminiscent of the like 2.5D remasters and stuff that come out, the kind of like 3D pixelated look or whatever. But more importantly, I've been wanting to play the game Blood again. Blood from the 90s. There aren't a whole lot of horror boomer shooters out there. And this kind of caught my eye because I think it was just a week ago I was literally saying how I wanted to revisit Blood. And this essentially looks like maybe a modern day version of that type of game. And that seems super interesting to me. Also, the gunplay and everything looked pretty good, pretty solid. It was especially this here with the melee attacks or whatever that really reminded me of that. Really, I just want to play Blood again, and if you give me a game that is sort of like it, I'm probably in. So that's why I just wanted to showcase this one. I'm not going to lie to you. Darkbound caught my eye because, yes, it is cats. It does the weird Animal Crossing thing of doing a like sound or whatever whenever they talk. The mechanic here of this cat seems to have a disease, and anytime they're in the dark or like not in light or whatever, the disease like grows or something, or threatens to do something to, I don't know, to like kill your character or like turn it into something or whatever. Seems like it could be kind of a fun, weird little story with some cute little characters, and I am definitely in on that, so this is one I probably want to check out. This trailer was jarring at first. This is a game called Hellkind, and the immediate thing you notice obviously is the top-down perspective and the monochrome style, the black and white, different shades of gray sort of thing. The other thing I noticed is it seems to use a like line of sight or field of view mechanic to ramp up the horror stuff, so I think this could be really interesting. Especially love heavy religious themed horror. I'm a big fan of it, so this seems like something I would definitely want to take a look into when it comes out. Alright, now is the time to start talking about games that remind me of Resident Evil, so I'm going to sound like a broken record for a while, but here we go. So, third person over the shoulder shooting type Resident Evil, think Resident Evil 4, 5, 6, whatever. Big fan of the style, it's starting to come back, so seeing the combat would be that in this made me immediately interested. Actually, the thing that made me immediately interested are these weird Lovecraftian horror type enemies that she seems to be shooting, these weird tentacle men and the giant lady or the giant half lady or whatever. There's some cool looking possible like things happening in the story here. I mean visually, I thought the enemy designs here look pretty sick too. Also, there seems to be this like control mechanic like from Control where you can move stuff around with your mind, and it seems like it probably plays a big part in it. This is definitely something that I want to look into more. Okay, to be honest, this one didn't look so much Resident Evil in the gameplay that shows up. It's more the fact that that dude is basically just wearing Chris Redfield's clothes. You broke into Chris Redfield's house, he stole his outfit, and he is now taking an axe and chopping up a bunch of weird monster people or whatever is going on here. The thing that I'm excited for with this game, this is Cult of Blood, is that the action looks fast-paced and pretty cool. There's a nice mix of melee and gunplay that seems to be in there. A lot of dodging mechanics or whatever. I don't want to keep using the term Souls-like. This actually doesn't seem Souls-like. This seems more like hack and slashy in a lot of ways, which I find kind of interesting, but it does have a dodge mechanic. I'm guessing it maybe has a parry mechanic because every game these days does, but the switch up between the melee into your gun or whatever and the dodging, I think it just looks super fun and interesting, so this is one I definitely want to check out as well. Alright, now there's a couple of games that looked interesting to me because they are top-down / isometric Resident Evil likes. The first one being this, Biogenesis. As you can see, this is, I guess, some Parasite Eve vibes with some of these backgrounds and locations as well. But this just seems like it would be a really fun... I really like Resident Evil, okay? Like, I really enjoy Resident Evil games, and this seems like it has that tone. It definitely probably draws a lot of inspiration from the series, I would assume. I kind of like this too, the change into first person for some of the puzzles or whatever. This just seems like it could be pretty interesting as long as it has a decent story. I think it might be the full package, so this is one I'm definitely going to check out. This is Biogenesis. Alright, next up is Liminal Point. This is another Resident Evil-like game in an isometric style. As you can see, we have Sexy Claire Redfield here, or this game's version, I think Lyra is her name, if I remember correctly. And it seems to be all here. You got the storage box. This is obviously a safe room. I'm guessing mirrors are maybe the save point or something like that. You have the Tetris-style inventory system, so that you have to move things around to fit everything into your inventory. And up ahead here, we'll see a few monsters. Kind of remind me of something from Silent Hill, more like the bobblehead nurses or something. And there seems to be some inspiration from, I guess it was Outbreak that introduced it, maybe. The system where if you like aim at, I think one of the characters, Kevin, if you aimed the gun for long enough, you would get like a guaranteed headshot or whatever. He would basically aim the gun. And there seems to be a mechanic in here where if she holds the gun up and holds it on an enemy for a second, the reticle turns from a dot into like an X, and it seems to do maybe more damage or something because there's a different sound effect that plays when it happens. Everything about this just seems like it would be super up my alley. This is one I will definitely be checking out, and yeah, this seems like a day one purchase for me. Okay, so now we're in what I would consider maybe my games of the show, ones that I'm really excited for that maybe I wasn't expecting or whatever, because there were a few announcements as well of games that I already knew about that I'm excited for, but these are ones that were kind of brand new. This one is VonGarland Castle Beyond Blood. The thing that caught my eye immediately about it is that I really love the art style. I love the cartoony look. There's not enough horror games that are done cartoony these days. I think too many things go for ultra realism or some kind of pixel-based thing usually, or something really dark. So it's nice to see a horror game with bright colors and a fun animation style and whatnot. Also, it obviously has a bunch of the survival horror stuff going on in there. There's an inventory system, there's puzzles, stuff you can buy from a shop, it looks like here, and some interesting characters. And the big thing for me also is that not only does it have all that, but it's also 2D. And there's not enough 2D games out there anymore, especially ones that have a Souls-like combat, like Salt and Sanctuary. It looks very Salt and Sanctuary when there's combat in here, so I'm really excited for this one, and I'm looking forward to seeing more. I have to admit, I was immediately almost turned off by this game because I've been on record saying that I'm kind of sick of first-person horror games, until I noticed that this game is not just a first-person horror game, but this is a first-person dungeon crawling style game. And the old school dungeon crawlers, the turn-based dungeon crawlers in first person, were some of my favorite games back in the day, and I still love them when they do it now. So to see that old school gaming done in a modern horror wrapping is absolutely incredible to me, and this looks like it would be so fun. This is so up my alley, and this is I'm a little surprised this hasn't come out earlier, to be like something like this hasn't been done earlier, because this to me just mixes two things I love that I don't see very often, especially together. It's so rare, and all of the enemy types and everything look great. This is an instant buy for me. And again, talking about game styles that just aren't done anymore, and pretty interesting to see a horror game do that old style, is this reminds me of Another World. This seems to be a story-based adventure game, a point-and-click adventure. The thing that I found interesting about this is that it looks like those old-style games, but modernized, obviously, with the animation qualities and lighting and all that sort of stuff. And it is fully voice-acted. Even the inner monologue for the character seems like it's fully voice-acted as well. So this seems like a no-brainer to pick up as well. The story seems like it might be pretty interesting. It's about this guy, and he might be schizophrenic or something like that, so who knows? Is this all in his mind? Did something happen to him? Yeah, this just looks super fun, so I can't wait to play this. Alright, and last but not least, this is a game that I've been told we've seen before, but to be honest with you, I just cannot remember it for the life of me. This is by Sweet Carole, and the first thing you probably immediately notice is that this looks like an old 90s style Disney film, which, since that is the era I grew up, immediately fills me just with so much joy. Every screen I see of this, I just want to play it so badly. It also gives me some Clock Tower vibes in a lot of spots. Maybe it's because of just some of the settings or whatever. It doesn't look like it's necessarily going to be a point and click or anything like that. I guess I don't really know that for sure, but I have seen that one of the main mechanics is you are able to shift into an animal form, a bunny form or whatever. And there seems to be wall jumping, at least, as we could see there. So it's probably more of a Metroidvania type thing. And all these characters that they're introducing, everything looks so charming. This is going to be probably like a Game of the Year contender, as long as the story's good, and I'm sure the story will be good. The horror stuff looks pretty great. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be just the full package, and to be honest with you, I just cannot wait. I need this right now. Alright, so there you have it. We're eating pretty good for horror fans, and remember, there are a whole lot more than I showed here. I would highly recommend going and watch it for yourself. Let me know which ones you seemed interested in. Let me know which ones I showcased here that you're interested in, and yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.